The difference between Arabica and Robusta coffee. They are not the only two coffee varietals. There are others. There are Liberica and there are more. If you look into this online, I'm sure you'll find way more information on this. However, I will talk about the main two varieties being Arabica and Robusta. Now, Arabica is what we use in specialty coffee. It's what we use here at TAM, only Arabica. Now, Arabica coffee grows at higher altitudes in much more complex terrain and complex weather environments, making it much harder and costly to farm. That is why it will be more expensive in price than Robusta. So the yield is lower with Arabica, and the growing conditions and geographical situations are much more difficult to manage and farm. What you will also find is that Arabica has naturally less caffeine than Robusta, and you will also get a lot more complexity out of Arabica beans. You'll start to get flavors maybe sweet, maybe citrusy, maybe fruity, a lot more complex flavors which you don't get with Robusta. Now with Robusta, it's the complete opposite. It grows at lower altitudes, it's easier to grow, easier to farm, which is why it's used much more widely for mass-produced coffee, whether it be instant coffee or coffee tins, or many of the big chains use Robusta as well. It is cheaper and easier to farm, but as a result, the downsides are it doesn't have the complexities and flavor that Arabica has. And what you're going to be getting less sugars, less complexity, less acidity, less sweetness. And it's just, you're going to be pulling out more flavors, more earthy, more bitterness, and things like that. So it's easier to produce. In Italy, for example, Robusta is commonly used in their blends with Arabica for their espresso. Robusta has more caffeine than Arabica, which is why you might get the shakes after having a Robusta coffee. And that is because it grows at lower altitudes. So those are the main differences between Arabica and Robusta.